Hello there, I'm back. Today I thought I'd show you 3 different ways of making step cards. They could be double sidestep cards, they could be center cards, or they could even be just singular side cards. So I have one here. One is a really big card, 12 by 6. It's going to measure. And I have used stamps from the greeting farm. This is the Creepy Cruise set. And they were called Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday and Friday. So that's it. Here is another, which is a sidestep card. 1, 2, 3 steps. And I have used stamps from Daisy and Dandelion. I think it's a British company, which I'm sorry to say is retired right now. Here's a sidestep card with just 2 steps. And it's a big mama of a card, and here's a stamp that I've designed for builder stamps. And there's a lot of things going on there, lots of die cuts and pearls and even flowers and cogwheels. Here's another sidestep card, so you can see that you can make these in all different kinds of sizes. All you have to think about is how wide you want the panel to be and how big the main image, how much space it needs. In this case I've got 3 steps, and actually the 2 steps are equally high. But you can also go with them in different directions. Here is, in my book, a center step card, because the steps are in the center and the panels are on the side. And in this case, to prevent it from actually fanning too much, I put a bit of a decorative band. I punch 2 holes and I put the band through. In this case, I'm making sure that the card won't fan out too much. And then we're going to go to some double side steps. Yeah, I think you could call it that. Double side steps, because there are 2 steps on either. It is a step on either side, and this card could vary in width, of course. I have used some dies from Cherry Lynn and a Merry Christmas stamp from Vilda Stamps. Here it is smaller. And just for fun, I kept it black and white. And this is what I'll be showing you just in a second. You could also do it like this. And in this case, I've actually stolen the idea from a Swedish scrapbooking store that's called Engströms. They're both same dies and the same stamp. And then I have another one here, which I also kept clean and simple, with stamps from Vilda Stamps. Black and white. And I think that is a nice contrast to all these cute cards that I see everywhere. So let's see. I'm going to show you first off the 2 side, or this double side step card. First off, I'm going to start off with a piece of paper that is 12 by 6 inches. And I want to recommend you to get a really sturdy carton that will sort of help it to stay upright better. So I have this 6-inch times 12-inch paper there. First off, I'm going to start off by marking out the 3-inch wide panel. And I will need that panel just to know where to put, how deep in I'm going to do the cutting when it comes to making those panels. And in this case I'm going to use my T-ruler. I'm going to butt it up against the paper there. I do have the mark there, and I'm sort of relying on it to be accurate. And then I'm going to twist the paper over like so, and I'm going to repeat this. I'm going to line it up there and just find the mark that I have here, and I'm going to do it like that. So it's an easy peasy way to work with this. The next thing for me is to mark out the measurements for 1, 2 and 5 inches. So 1, 2 and 5. And that is going to help me make scores on that side. I know that I want to make some scores on this side as well, so I need to remember that, and I need to do it in the opposite direction. So I'll be going for 7, 10 and 11. So those are the marks that I'll be going for this time. I will also want to make a mark at the 6-inch mark line, and in this case I find it rather helpful using a ruler against the back top there. And I'm going to make a mark like that, because that is where I'm going to do my scoring. I'll be doing some cutting up here. I'm going to do some cutting here. I need to go a little bit further, don't I? So I do need to make a mark. Let's see. I think this is going to be alright. I'm hoping. Let's see. Am I thinking straight or not? I do know that let's see. There is something, you see, I actually go wrong here. I need to change this. I need to go with the 11 and 12 there. And I need to put the 1 and the 2 here instead, because I'm going to do the cutting all the way up here. Otherwise I won't be able to get that top to peek out above these. So I'm going to skip those. And I'm going to hold on to these. Let's see, fingers crossed now, because I already made a boo-boo with the other one there. So in this case I'm going to use a trimmer from Martha Stewart, which has measurements for both inches and centimeters. And in this case I'll be using the inch marks. So I did plan on using these, because I actually had those crosses where I don't need it to be. What I'll do now is I'll find the 3/4 of an inch mark on the trimmer. I'll be putting it there. And you can see that it's actually matching up really nicely there. I'll be starting off at the 1 inch mark. And first off, when I made this one, I couldn't even see the measurements on this one. The green paper here is actually making it more easy for me to find the spot. So I'll be going for the 1 inch mark there. And with the magnifying glass I can make sure that I'm absolutely in the right position. I'll be pulling this one down here to the 7 inch mark. I'll be stopping there. And then I'm going to go the opposite way. So now I have to do some maths thinking in the reversed fashion. So I'm going to put it at the 3¼ inch mark down here. I'm going to find the 1 inch mark, and I do have the lines there to help me out. So it's perhaps not completely 11. It could be 11.5 or something. And now I'm going to pull it up all the way up there to the 5 mark, sort of. So let's see. It needs to be equal down here. Of course I could have turned the paper like so, but I still wanted to see where I'm going to do the cutting. So now I have made those 2 slits, and now I have to start scoring. I'm going to put the paper here, and I'm going to start off with the 6 inch score. I'm not going to score the panels because those are meant to be straight. They are supposed to sort of give the solid structure to this card. And then I'm going to score the 1 and the 2. And I'm doing it a couple of times just to make sure that I'm getting it right. So you can see that there is something going on there, I hope. It doesn't seem like it's doing a proper job now, is it? So I'll be moving on with my stronger or more pointy bone folder. It's more sharp. So I'm going to go with the 1 and the 2. And I'm going to turn the paper over. And in this case I'll be ending up with the 10 and the 11. So it's good to have those measurements in your head. 1 and 2, 10 and 11, and 5 versus 7. So let's see, if I'm going to do the first fold in the center, that will sort of get me started with this bit here. And what you need to think about now is that you're going to make this look. So I'm going to make that one go down and that one go up. And that in that way I'm actually making sure that it seems like I should have scored there as well, otherwise I can't make it work. So I'm going to repeat it on this side, down and up. I'm going to make a mountain first and a valley second. And there needs to be some score marks here on the 5 as well. I had forgotten about that, haven't I? Well, I haven't really there, but I forgot to tell you about this in this case. So just to make those creases a little more pretty, I usually go over it with my bone folder like this, and I'm going to turn it over. And I like to use my scoreboard because I get so much out of it just by putting it in the right place and everything, in the corners and such. So here we have the basis for this double sidestep card. And now it's up to you really to decide on how you want to decorate this card. And of course, if you would like to make this card wider with wider panels, you could of course do that. Just start by having a wider paper and make those panels wider. I mean, you could go for 2 inches or something similar to that. So have a lots of fun with this card. I do like this measuring, or this fold, I must say. Let's move ahead with another one. And this one, I believe, will have some steps on the side, and it's going to be a really small or narrow panel. You can start off with a paper that is 5.5 inches times 8.5 inches. And what I've done after that is I've marked out the middle part of that, and I believe that's going to be 4.25. It's that measurement there. And you need, I mean, it's a good idea actually for you to make some kind of a mark at the 2-inch line, so you know where to put it. So in this case I could just do it like this. But the thing is that you shouldn't make too harsh lines all the way, because so you by mistake don't cut it too wide or too much, because you're going to do is you're cutting just there. So we had the 8 by 5.5. You could start by marking out 1 inch, 2 inches, 3 1/8, 4.5, and then you're going to go all the way down there, and you're going to continue with the final one, 6 3/8. So let's see if I can make something out of this. I could actually start with the creasing first, or the scoring. So in this case I do have 6 3/8, and I haven't, well, that one is really closely to that one. You know what, I could actually take another scoring board just to see if there are more grooves in that one. Perhaps I can fit it in better that way. So in that way it's nice to have this sharp bone folder. So if I'm going to start with the 6 3/8, I do have the 6 3/8 somewhere here. It's not completely 6.5, but it seems like it's lining up really well in that groove. So what I'll do now is actually turn the paper over. So I'm right-handed, you see, so I actually like to work it this way. And there's a benefit of the paper actually really going up to the top with me doing it like this. Then I have the 6-inch mark here, and it seems like it's not 6, it's 4.25, and it seems like that one isn't properly in its place now, is it? So I need to make that one later. Let's see if I can do something else where I have this one here. I have the 1-inch mark there, and I'm going to stop there, aren't I? I'm going to stop there. I have the 2-inch mark there, and I have a 3 1/8. I could do it there. And let's see if I can make, I mean, it's a problem now, I can't see it, isn't it? But I think I'll just find the groove here and just go all the way down there. And just because I'm a right-handed person, I'm going to twist it over like that, and I'm going to find a groove for it yet again, and I'll just start over from there, just to make sure that I'm going to make it right. I'll be taking back my trimmer, and what I'll do now is make a cut there. So in this case I'm making the cut 2 inches into the paper. So I'll be putting it into the trimmer, and I'm sorry to say that I'm not sure if I have the 2-inch mark here. So luckily I have marked out all the way down there, so I know how far in I need to put that paper. Well, it's sort of, it's just going outside the paper in the trimmer here, and I can make sure by checking that the pin or the needle also is going down there. So I'm going to put it at the 1-inch mark there. I could actually use my magnifying glass. It's at the 1-inch mark, and I'm putting it down there, and I'm going to 6.5 in this case, it seems like. So let's see if I can make it work. So now we have this one going on here. And what I'll do first is, I'm not sure if I have a card that could show you this. So I know that it's good to have a mountain first, and I'm going to make a valley. And now that one actually automatically folded itself. I'm going to make a mountain again, and yet a valley and a mountain. So here we are with this. Let's see if I have something that is sort of similar. And now I can see that it wasn't perfect with the measurements there, but still I can make it work. And in this case, this is going to serve as a prototype because I can see that there's something mishappy going on here. It is sort of flat when I look at this like that, but when you look at this like this, it isn't even. So, but still it looks rather okay from the front. And then you could also save it or rescue it by decorating in certain fashions. You have a sidestep card of sorts there. It's not going to be perfect to the one that I'm going to show you now. But you could, of course, let me see, the string got stuck in those coils. It is sort of like this, but it is wider and narrower. And of course the card itself is smaller. If you would like the thing to be opposite, you could have this one as this one instead. So you could just make sure that you make the measurements the other way around. So I hope you get my drift. So always start by making the first score up, down, and you're going to have that one. And then you have to struggle perhaps with this one. So if you want to make those measurements really crisp and sharp, go over it with your bone folder. And with this bit I'm not really that happy, but I think that when I'm lining it up like that, it's going to look rather okay. So there's no need to be irritated, but somehow it doesn't work out that properly. Perhaps it has to do with the fact that the paper is so thick that you can't really get it even Steven, sort of. Let's see if I can show you the final one without making too many mistakes. This is going to be a center step card. And you are going to need a piece of paper that is going to be 9 times 6 inches. I'm sorry for the red paper, you can't really see the numbers there. 9 by 6 inches. 9 by 6. What I did first was I decided on how wide it needed to be here. So for me it was 1.5 inches. And I just put the ruler against the top here and I did some marks. And I made them sort of faint because I don't want to cut it all the way through. So you could, if you want to, you could make those marks, or you could just make a sort of a fainter thing. If you want to just keep the paper in place, you can go to 4.5, or you can just turn the paper over and move ahead using the 1.5 inch mark there. Then you can turn the paper this way and you can mark out here 1 inch, 2 inches, 3.5, and here it's going to be 4.5, but you're going to do the marks on the panels. Continue with 5 inches and 7 inches, and then you're ready to get started. So let's start scoring. I know that I will be scoring on these bits where I have all those sort of dotted lines. It's not dotted, I'm not sure what you can call it. So 7 inches is easy enough to find here. And I'm going to do the scoring, or yeah, I'm going to score here. So I'm just going to sort of trace the mark there, but I'm going to push here. It seems like I haven't measured things properly, so I'm hoping I'll be able to get that to fit. 5 inch mark is here, and I'm going to put it there. So there are some benefits and drawbacks with either of these scoreboards. This one has more narrower grooves, whilst the other one has more wide and deep ones. It might be a bit more difficult to actually get the grooves to fit in here. Let's see if I can continue. 4.5 inches, and I'm going to do the panels. So I'm just going to start from the top, and I'm going to turn it over like this because I find it easier to really match it up against that ruler up there. Turn it over again, continue with the 3.5. I'm going to just trace it and push it. Trace and push. And I do find that 3 times with this really thick paper is enough. I'm going to move back to the 2, trace and push. Trace and push. Trace and push. And then the final one, it's 1 inch. And usually I like to go this way because I have more room for my right hand here. So I'm going to go for the 11, trace, trying to keep it straight, and push. Straight from the 11, just trace it and push. And trace it once more and push. And now I'm going to take out my trimmer again. And now I'm going to make my cutting from 1 to 7 on both sides. of course the numbers are going to be different on the other one. So in this case I had 1.5 inches. I'm going to find the 1.5 inch mark here on the trimmer and the 1 inch mark here, and I'm going to go down to the 7. I'm going to turn it over. I'm going to find a 1.5 inch here, and I'm going to start off at my 7 here. I'm just going to follow the paper, and I'm going to follow that line down there as well. So it's a good thing to have this as a prototype even for you, and then you can make your own one really pretty and nice. So now I know that the first step is going to be 1 inch tall or high. So I'll be forcing my way in there, and the second is going to be a valley fold, and then it's going to be a top and bottom and top, and then these two actually went automatically as they should be doing. And now I think that I have a much better finish here. So this one I'm really pleased with. And now I have 3 creases here to take care of, so I'm going to push it really good there. And now I have this one. And this one seems like it's going to be steady enough. I don't think it's going to fall completely flat unless I force it to. So here we have that one, and let's see. I do have this one as an example. No, I haven't. Let's see if I have a centerpiece, center step card. This one could be the thing that you could go for. So you have some narrow panels, and you could also put it in a big piece here. You could actually make it go as high as the panels. So you can create something. If you want to, you could even go higher if you would like to do that. But I think that this is a really sturdy and nice looking step card. So I hope my mistakes might be some tips and warnings for you, but I still want to wish you luck with your own step cards, because there are so many different variations how to make them. I'm going to sign off right now. Bye bye.